Well, hello. Here we are with another fabulous stream. And you know how they all have to start with a mic check? I can't hear it. Hold on a second. I haven't the sound set up right. Let me fix that. I probably should have heard something. Okay, now let's check the sound. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's good. Okay, good. Here we go. We're going to do Chapter 2 mid-chapter review today. There's 12 questions. Not a lot of repeat questions on homework. There's usually like 2 or more of the same type. Of course, I want you to practice that, but on this one, it's mostly 12 different questions. There's a couple that are repeats because, I think they're pretty good skills to have and are well representative of like an entire section because we've done Chapter 2 stuff and we've done 4 sections. So out of 12 questions, I really hope that 3 of the questions each align with some, facet of the chapter, although I think a lot of them came out at 2.4, whatever. Alright, so whatever, let's do this thing. Start. So on these ones, there's really not like, these first 2, I should say when I say these ones, there's really not like a, I don't know, a method. You don't have to write down work or whatever. It's really just you got to figure out what this sentence is as an equation. So twice the difference of a number and 3 equals 7. So there's a lot of things going on here. We got twice, that's a thing. We got the difference. We got a number that's unknown, and they want us to use C for that. We got 3, and it equals 7. So I'm actually going to write this down on my paint here. I'm going to hope that I don't mash the pen 100 times today, because you know me, that's what I do. Okay, so we have, so let's break down the words here. So first we have something equals 7. I think that's a good place to start. It's very easy just to get that out of the way. Something equals 7, great. And then we have this whole left side that is twice the difference of a number and 3. Now, what I want you to do is if your problem or whatever you see starts with like a phrasing like twice or 3 times or 5 times or 6 times, you should ignore that for a second. Just go on from there and read the rest. The difference of a number and 3. So difference, you have to know what that is. That's subtraction. C and 3. So the difference of a number and 3. And then now I got to deal with twice. And the way you twice is you don't just put times 2 in front of the C. You put times 2 in front of a parenthesis. That's everything. So you can see now this is the difference of a number and 3. Twice that, and it equals 7. Yes, it's a little bit of a weird breakdown there. So my advice to you is this. If your sentence starts off with like a phrasing that implies that you're going to do 2 times, 3 times, etc., that probably means you're going to do that much times the whole rest of what it says. So twice as much as all of this, difference of a number and 3. So 2c minus 3 equals 7. Another one. I hope this one's different. Oh, good. Good. I'm very happy that this is the one I got. Now, when you're doing a test or your review or whatever, you may get 2 just like I saw there, or you may get 2 just like this one, which is a little bit different. This one doesn't start with the phrasing of twice or 3 times. It just starts with the words the sum. So I'm going to start writing it, well, like I wrote the last one. See how it's at the end says is 8? Let's just start with that. That's an easy starting point. Something is 8. Great. Something equals 8. Okay, then the left side is the sum. Okay, there's a plus sign there. Of 7 times a number and 6. 7 times a number, they want us to use y here, and 6. So here you go. The sum of plus 7 times a number, 7y, and 6 is 8. So you're noticing this is different. I'm not putting that 7 like in a parentheses and then y plus 6 afterward because it's not 7 times that sum like the last one was twice that sum. This is just the sum of only 7 times one number and 6. So you have to know the difference. The phrasing's slightly different, so you have to be on the lookout for that, so that way you can differentiate between these 2 types of problems. It appears on this one, you're either going to get A or B on that, like problem-wise. You're going to get one that's a parenthesis one or one that's not a parenthesis one. Alright, now going from these 2, it's just a whole bunch of stuff you got to solve. I'm pretty sure 3 through like 11 here is just solve a whole bunch of stuff. So I will solve them using the legitimate method because I want you to be able to show your work. So I will show my work. 32 equals 5y minus 8. Yesterday I wrote with this on the table, and it turns out it's just better by hand. even though it's still not great. Okay, so your steps are you want to get y by itself. So I'm adding or subtracting first. In this case, I'm adding 8. Why am I adding 8? Because that allows you to cancel out the minus 8. 32 plus 8 is 40. 40 equals 5y. You divide by 5 now to get that y further alone, and you get 8. Is there another way to do this problem? Yes. I'm going to show it to you on Desmos. 32 equals 5y minus 8. Notice I converted the y to an x. Desmos will actually not mind too much if you use y. It'll just make the answer horizontal instead of vertical. I would just convert to x every time if you're going to do it like this. And you can see it crosses at 8, which was the answer. So that's giving me the answer. Should you do that? No, you should really do it, the on paper type of way. I'm noticing a lot of people not using Desmos, but not necessarily writing it on the paper either, which is it's questionable. Let's just say that. It's like, I would rather you write it down. Okay, another one. Oops. And this one says 258 equals 40 minus u. Okay. And that's not a very good looking u, but whatever. So anyways, the problem here, you're definitely, as a test taker or quiz reviewer, going to see a problem like this where you have like a number minus the variable. There's a reason for this. You solve it just like the other one I did a second ago. First, is there any numbers to add or subtract? Yes, I want to get rid of 40, so I'll subtract it. And 258 minus 40 is 218. Now the difference between this one and the last one is when I subtract the 40s and these cancel out, the leftover is negative u. You're not completely with just u yet. You have one more step to do. So the step is divide by negative 1. And you get negative 218 on the left. Whoops. And that equals a regular u, because the minus and the negative 1 essentially cancel out. Now the quick way to think about it is, oh, this was negative u equals 218, so regular u equals negative 218. Just flip the sign around to the other side. Oh my goodness. I guess I won't box that. So you're going to see one of these and you're going to get like an opposite answer. Could you have graphed that on Desmos? Yes. Could you at least check your answer on Desmos? That's even a better idea. Does 258, that's one side, right? And the other side is 40 minus, and then you have to put what you think is the answer. And I thought it was negative 218. Does that make 258 also? Yes. So now we can confirm. If I plug in the number I think is the answer, it actually makes it true. So you could do that. That's a fine way to, be sure you're right too. Okay, number 5. Simplify this as much as possible. Okay. Another basic solving problem. It's kind of what the last 3 have all been. The other one was weird because of the negative on the variable, but that's, I wouldn't say that's weird. That's kind of normal. You should be ready for that. All right, here we're going to get w by itself. So first, is there anything to add or subtract? Yes, I can remove 3 by subtracting it. I can get negative 12 on the left and 4w on the right. And then I need to divide by 4, and I get negative 3 equals w. That's it. The thing I'm seeing most people make mistakes-wise is they're just doing operations wrong with numbers. So please be careful. Negative 9 and negative 3 is negative 12. I've seen a lot of people that would put negative 6. I've seen people that would put positive 6. They literally, if I just say like, that's not right, I see them guess everything before the right thing, which is just wacky to me. So please, if you're not sure, use a little calculator. Just negative 9, here, right here. Look at this, negative 9 minus 3, just like that. It's as simple as doing a quick check like that to make sure you're right rather than wrong, which is a big deal. Because when you're taking a test, like, what can you do? You gotta be right the first time, or you're wrong. Like, I know that's a high pressure situation, but that's what I need. That's what I need from people. Okay, we got negative 2 plus 2x equals negative 14. You're going to add that 2 so that the negative 2 goes away. This leaves you with 2x, and negative 14 plus 2 is negative 12. You divide by 2, x equals negative 6. Very similar to the last problem. Do a couple steps, yada yada, bada bing, bada boom, you get an answer. Will there be something like this on a quiz? Yes, for sure, for sure. Alright, another one. This one has parentheses on it. Now, there's two ways to go about doing parentheses. You can either distribute to them, or you can, if you notice that it's divisible, divide first. So before I distribute a 2, I could actually just divide everything by 2. Assuming this 14 is divisible by 2, and it is, so I totally could. But I'm going to work this one out as if I'm a person who sees this and goes, ooh, distribute. Because that's probably what you're going to think, and that's fine. It'll still be fine if you do that. So 2 times 4y is 8y, and 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. Okay, now we're back where we were on the other two problems a second ago. You just get rid of stuff, so I need to add 18. 8y equals 32. And y equals 4. Okay, another one. Now these ones are getting into the 2.4 stuff. So apparently I put five questions from 2.4, which is, I think that's kind of fair considering 2.4 has the advanced quote-unquote questions, and those are ones you really got to like know how to do. Like a two-step equation is basic, you know, and I'm hoping that you know how to do that, and I don't want to test you halfway on that. That's not nearly enough. Okay, when you're doing something like this, first thing you want to do is this. 5u and 4u on the same side are like terms, and you can combine those. Do not subtract 4u. Do not subtract 5u. Don't move any of that around. They're already together on the same side. They're just not combined. So combine them. 5u and 4u makes 9u. And then you solve this further by dividing by 9. And u equals 8. Voila. How are we doing time-wise? 12 minutes in, huh? Looks like we'll be done with this in 6 more minutes if I can go at this same pace. Although these problems get a little more involved, so maybe take a little longer. Okay, next problem. We got 2v plus 5, 4v plus 13. So these are not on the same side. So unlike the last one, I can't just combine 2 and 4 together. And I definitely should not combine 2 and 4 together. If you were to look at this and try and turn 2 and 4 into 6, you've definitely made a mistake. You want to remove 1 off one side, and I want to remove the smaller amount, the 2. If you don't remove the 2 and instead subtract 4v on both sides, you can still get the right answer. You just have more negatives. And I know negatives are not fun to work with, but if you can work with them, you'll still get the right answer. So 2v plus 13 on the right, I'm going to simplify that stuff because I don't want anything over here with v. So I minus 13 from 5, and I get negative 8. And I'm going to divide by 2, and negative 4 equals v. And then I get negative 4, yada yada. Another one. Okay, looks like another one with distributing here. So we're going to get 4w plus 4 minus 8w, 24. Okay, so I'm going to distribute 4w plus 16 minus 8w equals negative 24. So on this one I had to distribute in the parentheses, right? And after I distributed, well, if you look at it, there's w's on the same side, which is kind of similar to a problem we saw 2 problems ago. So what you do here is you want to combine the like terms. So 4w and minus 8w, you can turn those into negative 4w. Now be super careful. Don't add 4, don't subtract 4, don't add 8, don't minus 8. Just think about what 4 minus 8 literally is and put them together. You do not need to add to both sides, move stuff to another side. Otherwise you'll be making a pretty bad mistake. Okay, so here's 24 on this side, and negative 4w plus 16 on the left. You'll subtract 16. That gives you negative 4w equals negative 40. Divide by negative 4. Sorry, I'm trying to make it fit so that the camera doesn't cut it off. I can see the camera is going to cut it off. W equals 10. Yes, you couldn't see it in the end. W equals 10. So that was the last step. So I had to distribute. I had to combine like terms that were already on the same side. I had to a three-part equation left over here with 2 steps to finish. I needed to minus the 16 from left and right side, and then divide by -4, and then I got 10. Whoa, 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 what's this, 5 viewers? There can't be 5 people possibly wanting to check this out. You guys can't be serious. I just feel so popular right now. But yet the chat is dead silent. Sad day. That's okay. 7v minus 43 equals 9v minus 7. Okay, so we're going to distribute here on the right side. So you get 7v minus 43 on the left, and 9v minus 63 on the right. And so this is similar to the last problem. It has parentheses and I had to distribute. But different from the last problem, the v's are on the opposite sides. Oh, Cheeto Chum, hey, you're not a student. You get out of here. You're old student. You just wanted to see how awesome the math was this year? Just kidding, man. You can come watch math anytime you want. Alright, so I got to get rid of the v's off one of the sides. So I would remove 7. It's the lesser of the two v's. I'll put a little bar down the middle to keep track. This is a negative 43. Be very careful to keep the sign like I am here. And this is 2v minus 63. Oh, is that Matt too? You know what I think about Matt. Alright, I'm going to add 63 to both sides. That gives me negative 43 plus 63 is 20. Equals 2v. And I can divide by 2. And I'm going to write it off to the left so you don't get cut off. 10 equals v. Yep. Boom. So, now I got to mention on all these last like 5 problems I did, well actually everything from problem 3 to 11, I could have just solved it by typing the graph in Desmos. Like, if I wanted to solve that last one, I could have typed 7v minus 43 equals 9v minus 7. Although you'll notice I turned the v's into x's. And then, 10. There you go. So you could have done that. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that's an option to make sure you're right. Like, at the end of the day, are you right? I mean, that's points. There's a sum of points associated with being right, obviously. Okay, this last one doesn't require work at the beginning. It gives me an equation and wants me to figure out what kind of story would match this equation. So there's 2 sides. There's a 15x on one side, and then there's 19x minus 12 on the other. And this is referring to, well, if we look in the box, this is referring to somebody buying X copies of a book. They're going to buy some copies of a book. So I'm assuming there's 2 options. One option is the left side, and one option is the right side. So it says store A charges blank per copy, and there is a blank blank. Okay? And then it says store B charges blank per copy with no other charges or discounts. I'm going to start there, and I'm going to input 15. Why am I putting 15? Because over here on the left side it says 15x. And I'm putting 15 here as store B because it says there's no other charges or discounts. If it's just 15x, that's what's telling me there's no other charges or discounts. If they had added or subtracted something to that, then there would be, right? And that means store A must be the other side. So the price I'm looking for there is 19. Be careful, I know there's 2 numbers to choose from, but the number we want is the thing that's with X. So $19 per copy, so 19x. And there is a $12, well, you got to choose. Is it a shipping charge or a discount? I'm going discount on account that they're subtracting 12. And remember, this is like the total the guy's going to have to pay. So subtracting 12 means it's $12 less from the total, which is some kind of discount, right? And then, spoiler alert, if you're watching this is your answer every single time. The total cost with all charges and discounts, and I'm pretty sure this is the case no matter which of these problems you get, is the same for both options. That is given to us by the fact that there is an equal sign. The only time you would say it's more for store A is if there was like, wait, A greater than, well, hold on. What is side A? A is the $15. So if there's a sign like this, that would tell you that store A is more, and like this, that'd be store B is more. But we're not messing with inequality signs yet. We're only messing with these equal signs. So that implies that these are equal for both stores. And then you're supposed to solve the equation for X, so that I will do legitimately, I guess, by hand. Or if you choose to use, calculation device, I guess that's an option too. So 14, no, not 14. So 15x equals 19 x minus 12. And then let's solve this. I'm actually going to subtract 19. It's not usually my thing to make negatives, but if I do that, it will result in less steps here, and I'm all about that. So 15 minus 19 is negative 4, which equals negative 12, and then I divide by negative 4, and I get x equals 3. Voila. And then I check. Submit assignment. Good deal. So, quick run through on this. We're 20 minutes in, pretty quick, I guess. Reports. So let's take a quick look-see here at this. Problems 1 and 2 had us writing an equation, and keep in mind there was two ways it came. It either had a number outside a parenthesis, and that's happening when they're saying like twice or 3 times or something as the first piece of the sentence. And then on problem 2, we saw the different thing. It said the sum of, which tells me, oh, I'm just adding something together. There's not necessarily a number that needs to be multiplied to all of it. So in this case, it was a no parentheses situation. Okay, then I don't really need to go through all this, but basically 3 through 11 was all just solving equations. We had basic ones that just had 2 steps, right? We had ones where the variable had a negative in front of it, and we had to do something about that during our steps. We had, let's cut ahead a little bit here, we had a more 2-step equation, but with positives and negatives. We had equations that have something to distribute. We had equations that have the 2 of the same variable on the same side. We had equations where the variables were on the opposite sides. We had ones where the equation with the variables need to be distributed, but then end up on the same side. There's a lot of different ways it went, right? Okay, then number 12 was one that gave us a equation, and we had to fill in a story that made sense for it. So, I mean, read your equation carefully. The $19 per copy and $12 discount was because of the right side for me, and $15 per copy because of the left side. And then that was the same at 2 stores because they were equal to each other. And then I solved it and got 3. Just like that. So hopefully, you know, if you're watching this, again, as always, I thank you for using the resources. I'm pretty sure I would guess that the people that watch this tend to score higher than the people that would not watch this. So you're doing right by me, all right? That's it for now. There's not going to be any more of these videos until next week. Woo! Because I got everything done. We got all the chapter 2 first half done here, and that should be it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.